Hey, this is Don from Padlock Technologies again with another video. I'm going to be answering a question about RBI or remote browser isolation in SASE architecture here. So this is going to relate to Cisco Umbrella or Cisco Secure Access. You know I'm going to push you more towards Cisco Secure Access if you don't have a SASE environment involved. But if you are an Umbrella customer, you can do this as well. Now we're going to go over one of the use cases for remote browser isolation. I'm going to be flat out honest with you. Most people do not use RBI unless they have a particular use case for it. I'm going to go over that use case. And if this use case fit you or your situation, you can take advantage of this technique. So let's go to the whiteboard here. I'd like to start with the titles here. So we got remote browser isolation. My spelling is completely off. I'm just gonna do ISO. I know I spelled browser wrong, but it is what it is. I almost look like chicken scratch there. So here's the thing with remote browser isolation. The whole purpose of remote browser isolation is to run a containerized version of a browser on your machine that is not technically going through your local machine. It's going through a browser or a containerized VM in the cloud, and it allows you to safely browse a site without, you know, malicious things happening to you if you go to a site that happens to be malicious. Now, why would you do that? Well, maybe you are researching a site to see if it's a legit site, or you have some questions about a site or a URL, and you don't want to just go directly there to see what the site is about because there could be a malicious site. There's a technique called drive-by malware, which as soon as you get to the site, downloads malware directly on your machine. Could be CNC, which makes your machine a bot. And if you know anything about bots, all I need is one machine, and then I can turn your entire network into a botnet. So this is a safe way of browsing a questionable site without actually being subjected to any attacks that come from that site. So let's look from a whiteboard perspective or a blackboard perspective how that looks. So let's say this is your machine here, and you are going to a site here, and I'm gonna put a Q for questionable site, right? Now you don't really know anything about this site. You've been told to go view this site, and it may or may not be a good site. So what you can do in Cisco Secure Access or in Umbrella is it's a lot easier to do it in Cisco Secure Access, by the way. You would create a rule that says, hey, anybody going to, so you create a destination resource, right? So internet resource, and let's just say destination, all right? And you say, if anybody's going to this destination, what I want you to do is I'm not going to allow you to just open it up directly to the internet. I'm going to redirect you and you're going to open it up in this containerized version of the site. All right. So questionable site's still there, but it's going to be a containerized version. And you'll know in Cisco Secure Access or Umbrella because down at the bottom right hand corner, you'll see something that says Cisco. And then this will be like a light blue color. And that's how you know you're running in the RBI. All right. So RBI instance will be happening here. So this will be RBI. So let's say this was a bad site and it did have malware. Well, it can't run anything local on your machine because this website that you're viewing it in is not local, right? This is not if you open up, Firefox or Chrome or Edge or Internet Explorer, if you're still using that, to the user, it looks like it's the local browser. But as soon as you see this little Cisco icon here, you're not viewing it in the local browser. It has been redirected to RBI or to RBI per se. I don't want to say redirected to RBI, but it uses the RBI technique. And now you're viewing it in a containerized version of the site. Now, what is the use case for this? One of the biggest use case, and if you're trying to sell this to a customer or you need to talk some type of value, the biggest use case I see this in is in law enforcement. Law enforcement, all right? Or just legal in general, right? And why is that? Well, again, if you got to look at a questionable site, somebody's putting things out on the internet and you're doing an investigation and it's questionable material that may, again, have malware or some malicious stuff behind it, you don't want to go and view that site on your local machine. Again, just like I said, if I happen to get malware, if you do it this way and you go directly to the site, well, if I'm a bad guy back here, right? If I'm a bad guy and I send malware, now they usually do like that. Well, I can go directly to your machine, and now the bad guy's like, ha ha ha, right? Got you, right? Now, once it has you here, once this is compromised, so now this is an IOC incident of compromise. Now, whatever you have connection to, so now you are my bot, and now anything behind you, and I'm just going to say a cloud friend network, is now going to become a botnet eventually, right? And this is what you're trying to avoid, because then I can launch a bunch of attacks and make it look like you, and then you don't have any way to repudiate that it wasn't you because we tracked it to your IP address. You can't say anything really, right? So this is what you're trying to avoid. Now, if you go to the RBI method, and let's say bad guy tries to run an attack here, all right. Well, the only thing he's doing is running malware in this containerized version. So he technically would be attacking a container, right? Which doesn't allow write access directly to the machine. So this instantly stops. And I used this already. I should have used green for that, but this instantly stops malware. This is stopped in its tracks, right? Stop, right? Stop malware. CNC in its tracks, right? Stops it instantly. So now bad guy is pissed off because yeah, he might be able to run it. He or she could have ran the attack, but it wasn't successful because again, it was in a container that doesn't have direct access to the user machine. And your biggest use case here is going to be law enforcement or legal because when you're doing investigations and stuff like that, if you do have to investigate a suspicious website, you do not want to go directly to that website, right? And this is the perfect use case for RBI. So hopefully that answers your question about what RBI actually is and why you would use this. Now, if you're thinking about getting SASE in your environment, maybe Umbrella or maybe Cisco Secure Access, and you're looking to see more of a POV, trying to get a proof of value, seeing what it's all about, there's going to be a link in the description below to do a discovery call so we can actually show you what secure access is. That's going to be the first thing I'm going to show you is what secure access is all about, because it's the evolution of Umbrella. And then I'll show you Umbrella as just a side-by-side comparison, and then we can talk about getting one of these pieces of technology in your environment. Of course, I'm going to lean you more into Cisco Secure Access because you can do a lot more things. But if you're looking to get this in your environment, there's going to be a link in the description below. If you're a Cisco sales rep and you're trying to relay some more value and explain the value of Cisco Secure Access or SASE offering in general that Cisco has. Link in the description. We can talk about it and see how I can help you actually speed the integration of Cisco Secure Access or Umbrella in your client's environment. That is the key. I don't care if you sold it to them. If they never implement it in their environment, when it's time to renew, the first thing you're going to say is, we never use this. And then it's going to be hard to renew any EA you have after that. So again, that is the quickest way to, I think I have a video on that. That is the quickest way to increase your consumption in your EA, is to have a partner that can implement it for you to allow you to, them to consume more stuff, right? The more quick wins they have, the more you look better to your client, and the more that renewal comes up, you'll just keep renewing that EA. This is Don from Padlock Technologies. I hope this quick video was informative. Don't forget to share, like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you, and have a nice day.